What's up, peeps? What does the fox say? Well, I will tell you in just a bit, because today my guest is none other than the leader of the pack, Judi Fox. She's a LinkedIn video and content strategist, speaker, human being connector, and she runs the LinkedIn Business Accelerator, which is a 90-day step-by-step coaching program that helps individuals grow their business using LinkedIn. Judi, thank you so much for being on.
And thank you for having me.
So before we get into the actual Q&A, which I'm really excited, I've been kind of digging into your life as much as it's available on your website and social media. But before we get into that, really, I'd love for you to give the audience a glimpse into a life of Judi Fox and what makes you tick, or better yet, what makes you howl?
What makes me howl? What makes me say, what does the fox say? So there you go. So this gives me my fox power, my ears. So a day in the life is different probably every single day, mainly because I have a kid, we're on the go, we always have something happening, something going on. And I just would say it's pretty normal, like wake up, do the routine, get to school, get home, and I'm on coaching calls, or I do strategy where I record mini sessions and send them out to my clients to say, here's what I see happening, here's what I would tweak. I truly believe we are meant to get focused and level up one thing at a time. I think overwhelm is a huge thing that slows a lot of people down, and it causes them to be a little bit of deer in the headlights. So I think to myself, I'm here to help remove overwhelm and to give you kind of a step-by-step, here's one thing you can do. So we round up the day by, we go out to eat or we hang out at home. And I always call our shopping trips, because you have errands to run during the day, that we're going on a road trip. So we have fun adventures. I can't even describe. I will wear these fox ears out when I go grocery shopping. So that is a day in the life of Judi Fox. And
I was definitely going to ask if you wear those out. I've seen you with them on, and I've seen you in public with them on, but just maybe you shopping. That was a question. So that's
no,
great.
we are memorable when we go shopping. It's been interesting because I've literally gotten text messages saying I'm at an event and people are talking about the fact that they ran into you at Target. So I make an impact.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. So really, I would love to know. As I mentioned, I was kind of running the scoop about you and really checking things out. And you, very interesting career path. And obviously, you're extremely active on the LinkedIn platform, which I would love to kind of learn more about today. You have a very massive following with amazing engagement. But how did you get started? Tell us a little bit about your journey and really how you got to where you're at today.
So I started college in 1994, which means that I didn't know there were all these potential opportunities down the road, because I'm in my mid-40s and that didn't exist back then. So when I looked out at my career opportunities and seeing my father as an engineer, I decided I would go through chemical engineering. Not necessarily that I wanted to be this chemical engineer. I could literally just see myself being able to be an engineer. A problem solver really was attractive to me, and going through chemical engineering was because somebody told me it was the hardest and I like a challenge. So I have a bit of a, what is that, where you like playing board games, like strategy and competitive. That's what I was trying to say. You're like, yeah. So I have a competitive nature. And so somebody telling me that was one of the hardest engineering curriculum I could go through. And then I chose Virginia Tech, the only school I applied to, because they said they had the best program. So that was kind of how that went down. And then I got out into the working world, and it was something that I was finally able to shift my focus into environmental. So I then went down the path of sustainability. So I got my master's and MBA in sustainable management and business. So that's why when I come from this place, a lot of people ask me, how did you get from engineer all the way over here? I come from a place of merging problem solving with a MBA and business focus with sustainability. So that's how it all comes together.
All right. Well, thanks for filling us in there. That's really great. And to give us a little context, I feel like you bring a lot of people that end up somewhere in life. You do start somewhere, whether for whatever reason you feel like you had to go to college, or you feel like it's a must to go to school, or you really embrace school. And I think what you did is kind of, I know, and I'm not going to lie, and I'm sure many people will resonate. When I was in school, it was like, which classes can I take that are going to take the least amount of my brain energy so I can focus on what's really important? You were like, I want to do the most difficult stuff. I want to go to the most difficult school. So it's just great because you crushed it, and that's awesome. So love the mentality. And so you get, I know I'd like to kind of dial in a little bit because you do work with a lot of folks today. You're doing some amazing things. I mean, you have so many amazing testimonials on your website. I really enjoyed reading so much of them. But you get to work with a lot of individuals, and you're exposed to a lot of different industries and different mentalities, and people who embrace what they're doing, and people are like, I'm kind of petrified of what I'm doing here. So overall, knowing the people you get to interact with, and again, whether it's on the platform, whether it's through your coaching or outside of that, but if you could give the folks tuning in a piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
I would say the thread that ties all of it together, and I think we all have different strengths and we all can show up differently, but the thread that ultimately ties everyone together is leadership on the platform and online in general. If you can show up as a real leader, one that has great active listening skills, one that is inclusive, and one that is more lifting up the community versus maybe tearing things down. There is an element of being a bit of a challenger, which a leader can be a challenger to kind of get action to be taken. But a leader doesn't necessarily tear other people down, or does more positive building than negative building, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So that truly ends up being the thread. So throughout all these different industries and all these different people that I work with, if we can tune into how they best serve the world in their leadership voice and their leadership style, that's the thing you want to amplify across all social media.
Wow. And that's really something that I hope people listening and not only can resonate with, but really strive for, because I feel like that's building. I'm a huge believer in building people up, not tearing them down, and I think that happens a lot. So yeah, that's that's really great, and I love that. What's something you absolutely love about what you get to do day in and day out? Something that you hit the ground in the morning and you're like, this is why I love doing what I do. Or you're doing something, whatever it is, you're working with individuals, and it's like that's your thing. That's what keeps Judi Fox going.
I think knowing the ripple effect and positive ripple effect that my work is having. So with some of my VIP clients, and one of my VIP clients just ran for president. So that's pretty incredible to see the impact of the content that we convert. So right now we convert that person's content. It's Marianne Williamson, if you know who she is. But she creates content for Twitter and for Instagram. And she is literally starting LinkedIn from zero. So what's really powerful about that is she's not trying to move any of her other audiences. She basically was like, I want to see what this looks like to start at zero, to grow as a leader and try to show up on this platform. And it's working really well. She has an amazing, incredible voice, but the content doesn't directly come over from, you have to make it LinkedIn specific. This platform wants you to talk with everyone who is on here, not at people. And that has a certain vibe and tone, and you have to adjust.
I want to kind of just dig into that a little bit, because I really feel like you put on a good point, because people that go to LinkedIn, you can't treat it like YouTube or Instagram or Facebook. And just because you're successful, I've seen people with massive followings on other channels come on to try to parlay that into LinkedIn, and they don't do so well because of the fact of what you just said, how you're talking at people, and it's a totally different approach on the platform. So let me ask you this, and in kind of in just being not specific to your client, but in general, when someone's starting out on LinkedIn, what is just a piece of advice that you give the folks that you work with without giving away all your secrets? What's something that you would say, hey, listen, if you're going to show up on LinkedIn, you want to start to build your brand, build your business, what is something that a piece of advice you'd give someone just starting out?
Well, a lot of times people have heard that know, like, and trust is very important. And they hear that, or they've never heard it and they're hearing it for the first time right now. But what that means is people literally just need to know that you exist. And that's why I call it an awareness model. So I create and work with my clients on gathering awareness. People literally just need to know that they are aware that you exist and you're here. And that doesn't mean go out and make content and be like, I'm the loudest. What is more powerful on LinkedIn, and I'm sure you've seen that, but the comments and going and doing great direct messages that are real. And I mean, I love your strategy for voice message, direct messages, because those are real. You can't really mass produce and make them very relatable without just you hitting the button and recording, and it is you real time in that moment, and people can sense that and feel that. So the more that you're able, and it's not over the top, maybe it's only 10 messages a day, because I think you did like 100 or something. I don't know what your timeline was and how long it took you to do them, but you did a lot and you made a video about it, and I watched it and I was like, yes. But at the end of the day, people getting awareness is, like I said, it's not about you going out and creating content. It's about you showing up and supporting other people. It's the difference between a leader who is talked about by all the employees, like, wow, they're always kind of checking in on us, they're always coming around, versus a leader who's always locked back behind their closed door in their office.
Good. I like that analogy too. So on the flip side of what I just asked you, and knowing, okay, you work with a lot of amazing people, different business owners, different walks of life, there's some people who might have some level of success in general, running businesses, just starting out. What is I guess a common maybe misconception or something that you can change? You're like, I always see this and it's not true, or I wish I could change the dynamic of this. What is one thing that you wish, if you can wave your magic wand and make something change, what would that thing be?
I think the magic wand I would wave is to remove the word help. And the only reason why I want to remove it is because so many people are out there. They truly do want to help people. And I don't take that away from people, but really, truly, people need impact. They need empowerment. They need to know that they can do it themselves, or they are capable. And leaders truly make an impact when their entire following or people they're in charge of, or whatever they're, trying to accomplish in this world, their impact is much bigger when they literally empower and make every single person that looks up to them capable of doing the work to impact the rest of the world. The ripple effect is wider and deeper and bigger. So that's why when sometimes you use the word help, it has a sense of the opposite of help, which is helpless. And we don't assume that anybody on LinkedIn is helpless. Everyone has the power to make a change in their lives, micro change. Maybe that micro change is just working on one section of their resume so they can level it up to then work on the next section of the resume the next night. Because sometimes we try to bite off these big things and we literally just need to do one thing. But everyone listening, is empowered to do one action, just one. And sometimes it might be the smallest thing, but it will make an impact.
So taking some action. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. We now again, I know that I was looking at some of the things that you do. So not only do you run the Accelerator program, but you also help people with their resumes. Is that correct? You kind of do some of that. You help them with their profile, building out their LinkedIn profile, and all that good stuff. So again, you get to interact with a lot of people. And what is just, this is definitely not one of the 5 questions with Frank, but I think for the audience, because you're giving some really great advice. What is something that you see a lot on LinkedIn for again, just for maybe from a profile standpoint, whether they're a job seeker or there's someone that's out there trying to be B2B and trying to do some sales? What is something in their profile that you feel like is definitely something that needs to be dialed in as perfectly as possible?
Can I have 2 sections?
Yeah, go ahead. Sure. Yeah.
So the top banner, hands down, that is a picture's worth 1,000 words. LinkedIn's giving you a billboard to tell people who you are, what you do, and give them a call to action. And many people, even if you're a job seeker, I have a college student that just had me work with her on leveling up her profile. It's so interesting because I think 10 years ago, her aunt hired me to help her with her resume, and she was a VP at a bank. And now 10 years later, she sent her niece to me to help level up her LinkedIn profile. So I really, really love that. And what we did at the top was we just leaned into, let's drive people to connect with you. Let's give them very clear call to action for you are, you love design, you love marketing, you love this. Here's your keywords. It's in your image, but it's also down below, so you'll be found in search. But that sense of having the same thing said multiple times, that's also very grounding for people when they come see your profile. So sometimes we think we have to be creative. Clear is so much better. Clear and clarity all the way down with who you are, what you do, and how they can get a hold of you. Like, what is the next step to get a hold of you? And the more you can dial that in and not give people tons of options, but 1 or 2. And then that goes all the way down to the media file section. If you can give them, you can upload your resume right there and have a link to a video of yours if you wanted to, or I have a link to a video influencers video that I recorded with Benji Travis. That is there, and it says, watch this video. There are so many people now watching that video. I think it's been viewed through the media file section 5,000 times. So it is a powerful, but don't have too many. Too many people pack that section, and then nobody consumes any of it. So 2.
Good. That's actually, I'm sure there's so much more, but those are key, because you're right. You got that billboard there. Use it. I see so many people that keep that kind of generic with an image that you're wasting that landscape. Mm-hmm. And then the media piece is great. I really feel like even if you're not afraid to shoot a video about yourself, kind of the video resume or video intro, I feel like it's a great way for a potential employer or even a job recruiter to say, wow, this is really great, and get to kind of see you on a personal level, not just a piece of paper. So,
and you can even make that media file link to a post that you made on LinkedIn, as long as there's an image attached to it, or else it shows up with a question mark, like we don't know what to attach image to this. But you could attach it to one of your posts, a document feature post, a video that you've made, which would be right there, the video. So
cool. Get some free advice from Judi.
There you go. There's the gold.
Yes. So where are we going? I love this part of the show because I give my guests a chance to really give us a glimpse into where we're at today. You're doing some great things. We're all kind of this churning away, but where are we going to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now? What's coming? What do you think is something that you can share with us where it's a prediction from you?
Well, I wish I could totally predict the future. I totally wish I could. If I could, that would be incredible. What I would say is, again, based on my focus on sustainability, what truly does translate for the long term, it's always relationships. And I have learned that through 20 years of working, that even just when I launched this business and I was trying to get some of the earlier clients where I was saying, hey, I have a retainer package. This is what I offer. Some of the earliest clients that signed on were people that came connected because I literally worked with them 20 years ago. So I have an engineering firm that I work with that's through a connection from college. So it's connections matter. Even the connection where I was talking about working with Marianne Williamson, somebody that worked for her 20 years ago is how the connection happened. So it's always through, to me, it's just, if you want to have a sustainable business in the future, because we do not know where social media goes. We don't know what will be new, what will be trending, what will be hot. I mean, TikTok is now the hot thing and everyone's raving about it, or at least Gary Vee is raving about it. And he raved about LinkedIn and he raves about TikTok. So, I mean, you just never know what's going to be the next hot thing, but always understand that all the time that you spend on TikTok creating all those videos, it's not wasted. So many people think that's just wasted time and energy. I've learned valuable video editing lessons from filming on TikTok, and it's a great video, quick editing tool to make a video for LinkedIn. So just don't be one-dimensional about anything in life, and people always matter.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And so you really said something that is, I think, super crucial, because the fact that you are living proof of it is the fact that you're doing business with people that you know from way back when. I think that's a testament to you having a sustainable brand that you've built too. Like, if you burned a bridge 20 years ago, you're not getting hired by anybody. So yeah. I think putting yourself out there, especially, you're showing up every day on LinkedIn and you're doing some amazing things, and also helping people try to grow and capitalize within their business and through the Accelerator program. So I think we have to be very careful about the things we say, how we treat people, what we're putting out there, because it may come back to you. Some things you do. So I feel like you saying, hey, listen, people are coming to me. You worked with someone's aunt 10 years ago, and now 10 years later, you're working with her niece. I mean, that's power. It's powerful because of the fact that you were top of mind 10 years later. It's like, oh, I wonder if Judi Fox is still doing. Oh yeah, here she is. So it's like great. So I think it's the power of the brand, and I think putting yourself out there is one thing, but also you have to be, you really have to be true and stay true and kind of know that you're out there. Social media, screenshots last forever. So yeah.
Well, and I also think people, how do I say this? We are always a work in progress. We're always learning. And I think we know and can sense the people who are willing to look, because when I was 20 is totally different than when I was even 30. And then when I turned 40, and there's lessons learned along the way. But I think it's truly those people that that you're like, you know what, they've grown, or they've gone forward and they've had certain things happen. And yeah, it's been an incredible journey. So I definitely, I love my engineering background. I have to be honest and say, I loved my first job out of college. But I also know that with the way the world has changed, this is also a huge, perfect fit for my personality. Whenever I was in engineering, I felt like really boxed in. So I was like, oh, I can stretch. So, and I think we just have to honor that with people. Like, I think too many people think, somebody said the other day, well, where did you get permission to go change your career? And I'm like, because we grow up with a lot of permission. And I think that's really important to kind of step back and ask yourself, when you see yourself asking a question, sometimes look back and get curious. Why are you even asking the question? Is there something going on? So
I really appreciate you. Yeah, I know we didn't really fully stick to all the 5 questions, which is great, because I like to veer off sometimes, especially when someone's bringing so much value. So where do we find you? If someone's listening in, like, hey, I want, my resume looks like garbage, I need to get it done, or my profile needs a revamp, or it's, starting from scratch, or I want to learn how to really boost and accelerate myself through LinkedIn. Where are we going to find Judi Fox?
At my website, judifox.com. Judi Fox. It's with an I though, because my name is officially Judith. So it's Judi. But there you can find all my social media handles, and you can click on each one of them and go down the rabbit hole or the foxhole.
Yeah, the foxhole, yes. So JUDIFOX.com, and you can find everything there is to know about you there. I spent some time on there. So yes,
Thank
very
you.
informative. Well, thank you so much for being on. It's really great. Love the energy that you bring. Love you have your brand basically weaved in to everything that you do, and you have an emoji, which is even more awesome. So
pretty fun. Yeah. And then I just realized somebody put the fox emoji with a guitar, so it's Fox Rocks.
Oh wow! Yeah.
I was like, oh, that is so smart. So people are helping me out here. So,
that's great.
But it's hashtag Fox Rocks. That's if you want to find my content, you want to find it quickly, go to hashtag Fox Rocks. And I also loved your video, Frank, about hashtags.
Yeah. It is a great way to kind of.
I actually share that with my clients, by the way.
No. Yeah. I mean, some people are like, oh, how do I find this video? I'm like, I don't know. I'm scrolling through my feed trying to find it. So yeah, using the hashtag is really great. All right. Well, thank you. I really appreciate you carving out some time, and
thank you.
You are I do want to point out you're the queen of voice messages on LinkedIn. So I know that you utilize it. I agree with what you said earlier. So many people will hit me back and say, A, they never knew it even existed, or B, it is something. It's easy to maybe use an automated system, or cut and paste a reply and just shoot it out to a bunch of people.
Even a video can be automated. Like you shoot it once and then you upload the same one, and I can kind of tell.
Yeah, it's not personal at all. Like and yeah, for me it's easy. I hit the button, I just say something, and it's like they know. It's funny because I'll mess someone's name up sometimes. I'm like, I don't know if your name is this or this. So yeah, it's always funny, but it's a good way to start a conversation too, because I'll butcher someone's name. But it's a nice way to be personal, and I think you feel there's emotion behind it too, which is always awesome. Like when the one you left me when you were in the car, and kind of like it was like I was laughing because it was so
I
funny.
was laughing.
Yeah, it's like this is life. So yeah, it was great.
Yes, just as an FYI, my kid was in the car, and I think he said something funny about the 5 questions with Frank. Yeah. He would probably be a fun guest.
Yeah. Well, all right, great. Well, we'll find you at JudiFox.com. Of course, I will see you soon on LinkedIn, and I really appreciate you taking some time out today.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks.